guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hate Journals. It's your girl, Black Mamba, and you know what it is. It is another week of fun. You guys know that AP takes off typically November and December, which just leaves little me in the studio all by myself. So I have always fun guests on, and this week is no different. We have the wonderful and lovely and hilarious comedian Steve Ryan. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh my God, of course.
Man, I love that you lied in the intro.
Do you like that?
Oh God, hilarious. That's
yeah.
That's a
well,
word
how do you think I got married? All lies.
all.
Yeah, I was like, I'm an angel. I've only been with 3 men. Of course you're the first person I've ever fallen in love with. Yeah, just pure lies right out of my fucking lying mouth.
When you describe it as hilarious, it's like the opposite of everything my father's told me for 37 years. Right. So I just, it's cool. I mean, this is on audio, so it's not libel. It's, what is it when it's on broadcast?
I can't remember the name, but
let's
play
just
this.
Go with lie.
Yeah, it's just a lie. Play it back for your father. I mean, go. Oh, I told you that I was funny, and then just send this to him. What's he gonna say? He doesn't know me. He's not gonna call me to the fucking rug.
You want to hear a funny story?
Please.
Before we get into it.
No, please.
My dad showed up to a comedy show of mine when I was a year in, so I'd had practice. I'd kind of built up, professionally. Yeah. Not like open mic stuff. This was like a year of professional, and he walked out 4 minutes into my set. Just left. Like
he's like, oh, gotta get that meter.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm gonna go get some cigarettes.
Right. He's like, BRB. I'll be right back. Yeah, BRB.
And I talked to him the next day, and I was like, hey, why did you leave? And he goes, oh, no, it was funny. I just had a thing, and I'm like, you had a thing. You had a thing. So that was that
I didn't tell you about beforehand. I just had a small thing that was about 25 miles away. Yeah.
He remembered that he had to wash his eyebrows.
He's like, I forgot about this colonoscopy thing I have. It's going to be real quick. I'll be in and out.
It was detrimental. Well, to be fair, though, he saw me 5 years later in New York City, and he was like, I'm really impressed.
Wow, 5 years later.
5 years later.
Good for him. So just never popped in once, was like, you know what? I'm going to let this kid roast. Let's see what he's got 5 years from now.
Oh, no. Not
Catch you in 5 years.
I would be like, yo, my God, I just got this nice paycheck. I just performed in front of all these people.
Right.
Like, I did a show, 2,500, people in the audience. And he's like, oh, that many people like jokes about dicks, huh?
You'd be stunned.
Yeah, they do.
Dad, you'd be stunned.
And he was like, you should be more like Bill Cosby. And I was like, I don't think I should.
Nope. I don't think that's a thing that we should aspire to be.
Yeah.
I love you, Dad, but I don't think anybody wants pudding pops anymore.
No. I think Jim Jeffries described it best with the drinking and the fingering is what he said. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's my dad thing. My dad was like, why isn't your comedy more like Bill Cosby?
Why aren't you like a older, wild-ass, rapey black man who wears wild-ass sweaters and keeps his own people down?
I remember it.
Get with the program.
He was like, I remember him saying, he goes, why can't your comedy be more like Bill Cosby? And I'm like, because my personal life is not.
And I'm also not an old black man?
Well, I mean, I'll never be an old black man. I would love to be an old black man.
That's like my mom coming to me and being like, why don't you sound like Morgan Freeman? I don't understand.
I mean, I would support if you sounded like Morgan Freeman. In fact, your podcast would probably benefit from it beneficially. Like,
if I sounded like Morgan Freeman, I got to be honest, you would not know me. No. I would be cashing checks.
Oh, yeah. Those ASMR checks. You would just...
Can I tell you what I would do with that kind of power? I know what you're thinking. You're like, you'd be like Morgan Freeman. You'd be on the circuit. You'd be acting, voiceover. No. I would voice over porn immediately. Immediately. Porn would be, and specific porn. And then he took out his large penis and peed directly into her belly button until it filled up. Yeah.
And then his stepmom got stuck in the dryer. I get it.
1,000%. That's what I would be doing if I had Morgan Freeman voice.
Oh, man. if I had Morgan Freeman voice,
it's a lot of power. It's like Oprah power, but without the money.
It would be, yeah. You know what I would do? I wouldn't bank on the porn money. I would bank on like Planet Earth 3 type money. Like I would want to, because you had Planet Earth 1 with like Sigourney Weaver or something. Yes. Planet Earth 2 was Oprah. I would bank on that Planet Earth 3 money.
He's known as like God, which, okay, cool, right, whatever. But the funniest thing about Morgan Freeman is, have you ever seen his wife?
No. I didn't know he had a wife.
Okay, while we're talking, Google it. It is wild. My husband and I just had this conversation the other day. He was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the first time I ever saw her, I was shocked. I
just looked at her. She looks, let's see, demand to speak to a manager? Like, how, she signs her checks, Karen Freeman. That's what she does. Oh, wow.
It's really wild.
She sells essential oils on Etsy.
She sells essential oils. And she's like, just go to my Facebook page. We're having an Etsy sale this weekend.
She looks like she's married to a black man, but still has All Lives Matter on her Facebook profile. That's what she looks like.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a specific look to pull off. That's a hard look to pull off.
She looks like she should be married to Dog the Bounty Hunter.
It was shocking the first time I saw it. Like, I thought, okay, when I heard Morgan Freeman was married to a white woman, I was like, this is going to be a specific white woman. She's going to have a page boy. Her hair's never gotten past her shoulders. Yeah. She wears a lot of blazers.
Yeah.
She means business.
Definitely.
And then when I first saw her, I was like, Morgan, what is going on? And they've been married for like, I don't know, 87 years.
I mean, I understand Ice-T and, Coco's thing. Because you see Coco and you're like, all right.
I don't understand Coco and where she came from.
I see it as...
And she's so sweet.
That's what Ice-T wants. She really is?
She really is. About her. Like, she is very nice. I used to love the show that they had.
Yeah.
Their condo was just as tacky as they are. But, like, in a, like... You know when you have a family member that's, like, super... But you love them. Like, they're the most fun. But I will tell you, their show is wild. Their home looked wild. All of it. The furniture was just as tacky as she is. But when I tell you she is like the sweetest woman, so nice. He is so nice to her. Like just a cute little, but like you can tell she would stab somebody in the fucking throat for him.
I mean, when I first saw the picture of him, it looked like Ice-T decided to marry the winner of Flavor of Love.
Right.
Like that's what. Right. But if she's nice, God bless her.
She is so nice, but she looks wild.
Oh man, I've met tons of celebrities who I was like, this is going to be the most difficult person to deal with ever, and you get pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, like, and then you hear about like Ellen, who just wears and you think like she's got to be sweet with those little white loafers on. Come on, she's a sweet no.
I've heard countless stories. I remember it all. You know what's great is that this conversation started from Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, duh.
Like, just right out the gate.
This is my brain, Monday through fucking Sunday.
I walked in going, oh man, what am I? Politics, religion, stand-up comedy. No.
Morgan Freeman.
Fucking Freeman.
Yeah, you aimed way too high.
And I'm glad.
I don't know why people aim so high when they come in here.
I'm in my comfort zone.
Yeah. Like just trash. Just like fucking no. Straight off the fucking bat.
It's a warm bath and I'm comfortable in it.
I like that. How was your week?
My week has been awesome. It's been kind of nice. I mean, like you said, I do stand-up comedy, so stand-up, unless you're doing it through Zoom, we haven't been able to do anything since March. Like we do Zoom shows. I did a few outdoor LA shows. It's just kind of bare. So I mainly keep up. I don't know. I bide my time by being boring, working, running out, hanging out with my kid who's way too old to hang out with me now.
Isn't it hurtful?
It's over. It's over. It's fucking done.
And then when I get Keek to she'll come in my in her natural habitat, she'll just come downstairs and want to hang out with me, and I'm like. It's like trying to keep a squirrel next to me. I don't want to make any big, fast movements because I know she'll run away.
Yeah, exactly. All shifty.
Yeah, and I don't want to seem like I'm trying to be too cool. Like I'm like her new yachties be, huh? Pussy popping, huh?
My son, I literally wrote about this the other day. He's 14. He went from loving, around the age of 10, like he got into really early 90s rap.
Yeah.
Like NWA, Naughty by Nature, Onyx, like Biggie, Tupac, all the good ones. And it was his favorite. And now he's this trap music fan, just the worst. Like, I mean, literally he made me watch a documentary on Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, I can't believe you watched it.
I watched it.
Was it riveting? I'm not going to watch it. When he started wearing lace front wigs, I was done. I was like, I do want to know the back side of the story, but then I was like, do I?
I mean, it was interesting. It was also sad at the same, like it wasn't like a normal documentary where, you can watch a documentary on anything and be riveted. You can watch a documentary on how like, sheep get shaved. And right. Like, oh my God, I never fucking knew that. That's amazing. Ken Burns made an amazing documentary here.
They do it with their teeth. Who knew?
No. And
I thought it was clippers.
We're watching this. And am I screaming, by the way?
No, you're fine.
Okay. We're watching this and I'm like, no, it felt like watching a documentary on if like a bag of Skittles could rap. Like it was just colors and weird anger and voice, and like it proved how weird social media is and how whatever, but
how big of idiots we are.
Oh yeah.
Like we'll literally buy anything.
It proved that like this guy was like, hey, I don't care if it's good, bad press, anything, that I'm gonna do whatever, which is still fascinating to watch from a generation point of view, right? Because you're like, holy shit, you don't have to have talent. Like that's fucking great. He even admitted, he was like, my music sucks, but I've made it, whatever, this huge. And so I'm talking to my son, and my son's dialect has changed because of what he's listening to this. And mine hasn't. I'm 37 years old.
Oh, yeah, this
is 14-year-old kid who gets his hair permed, and he goes, he was talking to me the other day, and he's like, yeah, one of my homies was being fucking crazy, and he was talking out his neck. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you don't mess with me and my friends that way. We got our crew, blah, blah. And I walk in, and I'm like, who wants Milano cookies? Like, I'm so white, I'm clear. Like, it, and he just was like, yeah, okay,
It's wild. It is wild where they are now, because truly characters, because Tekashi 6ix9ine is a character, right?
Oh yeah.
He really doesn't have any talent. He's a character, but it's amazing that he's been given all these second chances, right? Many. And there are people who credibly have all of this talent, and they are overlooked by people like Tekashi 6ix9ine. And I truly believe it's because the human brain cannot wrap its brain around trash. Like, we're like, I don't even understand how we got to this level. How did he even make it onto a song with anybody, let alone? And so I think because we're so curious, like they're Kardashians, right? Like for years, people have always said the same thing. They're like, they got famous from doing nothing, right? But none of us have figured out the fucking algorithm, bitch.
Right.
Okay, because I've done nothing and I'm not getting paid. I do something and I'm still barely getting fucking paid.
That's the biggest part of it. And I'm always confused about just kind of like how it's popular, but at the same time, there is a level of not respect, but like just awe. You're like, okay, well, you know what? They did something that I didn't do. Yeah. I'm like, I would sit in a coffee shop and write for like 4 hours a day. And then that's got me all of nothing. Like, I remember telling my son, I was like, dude, I wrote this tweet and it got picked up like, 9 million times, got shared everywhere and blah, blah. And he goes, cool. He's like, it's a tweet though. He's like, that's like if you went viral with Morse code. And I'm like, you're a little asshole.
You're a fucking dick. All right. No. You wait until you come to me and you need some serious fucking advice, because it's going to be half-assed. Okay?
No, and the Kylie Jenners and the Kardashians and the whatever, you want to make fun of them, but there's this new, like, world order of how things are done. And my son is sitting there and he's like, Dad, you go viral with jokes. He's like, but you need to do YouTube. You need to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
No one's going to pay you for that. And you know what? He's right because nothing has. Yeah.
It's very interesting that, but at the same time too, like you have to be willing to kind of sell your soul and kind of give up who you are unless you're willing to go the hard route, which, I mean, I am. I'm willing to go the harder route because I do at the end of the day still have to look at myself in the mirror. And, I mean, I like myself. It's the one thing I have going for me is I enjoy me. So I don't want to fuck up the one thing I got going. I mean, this dude could want to leave any time, but at least I still like me. I don't want to fuck that up, too. So it's like I try to always remember, like, don't sell yourself just to get, you know, your podcast or whatever to this level because some of that shit you can't take back. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine might have all this money, might have documentaries, but he's still also human garbage. Like he is still
feces.
It's
a punchline. And you know, to be fair though, and I've never thought about it this way, you can be a punchline and a piece of human garbage and run the nation of the free world. Like
1000%.
So maybe
1000%.
Maybe I'm just looking at things wrong.
Like, no, we're looking at it right. We're just fucking idiots. We just we know that the Kool-Aid's over there and we know we could drink it, but we're not gonna fucking do it. And we're the people that get over there, we're like, yeah, I'll fucking drink it. Yeah, dude. And then you get over there, you're like, you know what? I actually feel full. I'm actually not thirsty. I had 16 LaCroix on the way here. I think I'm okay, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting what we find entertaining.
It's because we're so used to just instant entertainment now. It's not the fact that like you can send somebody something that's hysterical and then 2 years later you can send it again because people have already forgot.
They've already forgotten.
Like, and I've learned this as a comedian with not with my jokes because when I'm on stage I want new stuff every time because it's challenging to me. But I've sent out tweets that I wrote like 10 years ago and been like, oh, this will work. And it goes huge. Where opposed to 10 years ago, it got fucking nothing.
Nothing.
Because people absolutely forget. And every now and then you'll get one person who will be like, wait a minute. And I don't know, it's just like, okay, you're blocked now.
Right. So that's what's so funny is that recently I was talking to my husband because recently that's happened where, you know, maybe 3 years ago when we were doing the podcast, the energy was very different in the room. Yeah. And for me to be able to like get any help or have people guests on or whatever, everyone was like, I'm too cool for school. No, thank you. But the one thing that I have that people who are not driven don't is I believe in myself. I know my self-worth. I know what, you know, AP and I know what myself, I know who we are and I know what we bring. Yeah. So it's just like a sitting, waiting game, consistency game. But obviously we've been super blessed and super lucky, and I cannot thank our listeners enough to be as successful as we are now. And it is wild to watch the DMs blow up.
Oh, yeah.
Like the DMs blow up. And so really for me now, the people that are really on this podcast are people that I or AP want to have on the podcast. And this is fun because once a year, she has small children. So she has a 3-year-old and she has like a 9-month-old. Actually, it's going to be a year. And so for November and December, she takes off for the podcast so that she can spend like Thanksgiving and Christmas and do the family shit. And I'm like, fuck my family. So let's keep this bitch running.
I'm so glad that we're so,
I'm like,
that's why I'm a stand-up comic.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about these people. And so it's nice for me because I get to be able to have people who traditionally maybe wouldn't be on the show be on the show.
You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you so
much. You can Venmo me. Like, I'll give it out.
Thank you so much.
Like, I was kind of weird when I showed up because I'm used to a gift bag.
Up front.
The green room is terrible.
I know. My husband's told me. He's like, I only want green M&Ms, you bitch.
I drove here in a 97 Ford Taurus. Yeah. That's what no, totally kidding. But it's just a huge thing. And no, when you blow up, the DMs get rid of. I made a joke about being sober for something like, and I wrote it on Twitter, and it had something to do with the fact of like I went out to a bar or something. It was just an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're fine.
And I had someone write me, and they went, "How dare you make fun of alcoholics in recovery?" And I went, "I'm an alcoholic in recovery." And she went, "Well, then you should know it firsthand." Like, you're sitting there going, you can't win. It doesn't matter.
No, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You don't listen to them. Let me tell you something. I am black. I will make all the black jokes I want, okay? I'll talk shit about my people.
I never noticed because I'm progressive. I don't see podcast hosts in color, okay?
I will tell you, it is funny because, like, for our podcast emblem, like, our sign and shit, it doesn't have our faces on it. So if I'm talking shit sometimes, someone will be like, "You don't know the black struggle." And I'm like, bitch, I know the black struggle. I came out of the room and they were like, "Cotton?"
Oh, my God.
And I was like, "Don't you dare. Get it out of here." I mean, I'm sorry. My people have been through it. And I got in an argument. I shouldn't even say an argument. I had to school somebody who maybe a few months ago asked me why they can't, why we're still talking about racism, why people are still talking about slavery, and why people can't say the N-word. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to revisit all of this again. But here's what I'll say. When your people have been out there picking cotton, when they have been discriminated against still to this day, when you're the one being asked if you can help them find paprika in the aisle every 5 fucking minutes, then you can use all the words you want, bitch. Okay? But you don't know what it's like. You don't know the struggle. And I just happen to use comedy to deal with that instead of raging out like I want to do 40% of the time and fucking choke you out. What I want to do, though, is violent. Black Mamba wants to come out and I want to fucking punch you in the goddamn throat. But I don't do that. Instead, I make a joke about your fucking mother. Okay? All right? That's where I'm coming at. That's where I'm flowing from. I had a patient yesterday. He's a Vietnam vet. He had his hat. Vietnam vets, like, they wear that hat everywhere.
Holy fuck.
It's got the pens, the ribbons.
You have no idea.
The flare. It's got all of it, right? And
it's a sorority jacket for
It is a they should get a jacket also.
Which, I mean, it's deserved in a certain way, of course, but at the same time, it's like, yo, man, stop.
But, like, I don't know what you did in the Vietnam War. What if you were just the guy sorting the mail?
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, someone who really lost their legs is over here like, "No, bitch, I remember." Right? Like, I can't pretend to have it as bad as black people who had it 50 years ago. That's just rude. That's rude, right? I mean, that's rude. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "My struggle's so deep." No, bitch. I start sweating and I'm like, "Can someone turn the central air on immediately?"
Well, please. Speaking as a straight white male in 2020, like, I know struggle.
Right.
So I'm with you.
Right.
And please don't have your friends at me for that. It was laced with irony.
No. But don't worry, they won't.
I interrupted.
So I go into the room and they have this, like, typical relationship where they, she'll say, "Well, back about 10 years ago, we went up to Iowa and then we crossed over and we went over into Oregon." He's like, "God damn it, Cindy, it wasn't fucking Oregon, it was fucking Monterey." She's like, "That fucking wasn't." And I was just like, I could do this all day. I could legitimately do this all fucking day long. So anyways, they get to the end of the conversation and she says, "God, I really like you. What was your name again?" And I tell her my name and she goes, "You remind me of this gal who we met when we were in Monterey. And she was a person of color."
Yeah.
And you remind me of her so much.
Of her so much. Because you know what? I can't tell the difference between you.
Well, duh, we're all the same. Hello. And he instantly fucking goes to Snapsville. He's like, "I hate that word, person of color." Now, I'm already in the whole...
You're already uncomfortable enough.
We're done. You have your meds. We are done with this interaction. I'm trying to move on to the next patient.
What's funny is that she thought that was the polite way to put it.
Oh, no. She was just like...
That's the thing. She was
hashtag person of color. Hashtag woke.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, bitch. And he goes, I hate that word person of color. He goes, I like to personally use the word we used to use back in the day. Uh-oh. And I said, uh-oh. And he goes, colored. Now, he goes, and it just makes sense, right? Because you're colored.
Oh.
And before I gasped air to just release on this old man, he goes, I mean, I love people of color. He
literally uses the phrase.
I'm sorry, he didn't say color. He said, I love colored people.
Oh.
He goes, there was this little colored boy who saved my life in Vietnam. I almost died. And this little colored boy pulled me out from the ditches. And I said, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we should use that word anymore.
You mean a person.
Right, just a person.
Pulled you out from the ditches.
I mean, we also used to euthanize old people, but we don't do that anymore either. So maybe we should stop using certain things, come on, dude. Let's step it. But he was so proud of himself. He was just so happy. I'm like, just no shame. Just no shame ran through him at all.
And you know what's weird is the fact that I don't, well, not weird. It's just upsetting. I don't get to have an understanding of this. I mean, I have a mortification of it because I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. But yeah, I walk into a store and everyone's like, hey, how can I help you? What can I? And I'm like, well, let me tell you, hold my scepter. Here's my crown.
Right.
And then I would like to pick out a nice blazer.
Right. I walk in and they're like, hello, bitch. Aisle 4 still needs to be cleaned up. I don't work here. I definitely don't work here. I for sure don't work here. This is my first time here. Yeah, it's
to be fair,
wild.
if I walk into an Eddie Bauer, everyone thinks I'm a sales associate too. So.
Well, that's because you can't keep your fucking shirt on. Every time I fucking turn around on Instagram, all I see is fucking nipples and abs. We get it. You've been working out, motherfucker. Shit.
Sobriety was very helpful, and I've never been able to do that. I had to learn, especially with comedy. I had this face in high school.
Yeah.
That imagine not wanting to ever have sex with it. That's...
I mean, I don't have to imagine. I remember
close your eyes. Yeah,
You look the same. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't feel that way. So for me, I was like, oh, if I... I'm not a smart person, but...
Okay, that's wild too. You're wild.
But I'm like, if I can make jokes, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that proved to work. I mean, I didn't know it at the time. I should have patented that shit because apparently if you go on Tinder now, did you know that every girl is looking for humor?
Humor.
They really are.
Humor.
Yeah, and I'll be like, I'm 5'10", and they're like, oh, well, okay.
Well, you better be funny as fuck. You better be 6 foot tall funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
6 foot tall, which, by the way, there's rarely that.
Right, right. Yeah.
That was my fucking defense mechanism because I had to come up with something.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember from our high school days, but I mean, there weren't a lot of us. There's me, there's David. So, yeah, and David was like, I'm ridiculous, smart, and I was just like, I don't know. I'm just regular black. I'm not bringing really anything No, I'm not great at math. Nope, not an English. I'm just an average black person.
Yeah.
But I am funny, so I'm going to use that. And so I never had to fight. I never had to be really... It was interesting, too, because when I look back, I think, wow, I never really looked at myself in a pretty way or sexual way, I guess, just because I just felt so uncomfortable all of the time. And it's interesting that I don't think that I look very different from what I did when I was in high school, but people are wild. I ran into someone the other day and they literally acted like I was Giselle. I went into the store, I went into a plastic surgeon and I said, make this better.
Make this better.
Just can you fix this ugly fucking disgusting
surgeon
body?
Said, no, it's perfect.
It's perfect. And
Bless
then he goes, just two more injections.
He gave you a Yelp review. That's what he fucking did.
It's wild though. And I think, God, I really didn't see that I was banging even if I just had some self-confidence. But it's fine because I would have been a total fucking prick if I had known back then what I am now.
It's what we have to do. I had no idea. I just liked saying stuff. I was like, dude, it's the same thing. You're sitting there going, oh, well, this makes people happy.
Right.
And that's kind of where it stems from. It's sad. It's definitely a defense mechanism, and it's a psychological issue as well. But like, I'm cool with it.
You know what? I
could have bought a lifted truck, and instead I decided to tell dick jokes. And you know what?
Truly, that's it.
Because with dick jokes, I don't have to hang giant flags on the back of them. Yeah, dick jokes aren't lifted.
I don't even know where you get them from. Where do they find these flags?
They're not. Yeah, there's nothing.
Flags.com?
There's no dick joke rallies. Well, I guess they're called stand-up shows. But like it's...
Or the porn awards.
You know what's funny? I mentioned that I tell dick jokes constantly. I don't have it. I've never had in 9 years of professionally doing comedy a single dick joke. Ever.
Not one.
What?
Not one? Not one dick joke. Not one.
That's like my term to use
like
for it. Yeah.
I guess I get it though, because I always go and tell a lot of pussy jokes, and I don't think I do. I mean, pussies are not traditionally funny.
I think they're fucking hysterical.
I mean, they have their moments, but I mean, really, they're pretty just kind of hang out.
They're really good.
Yes.
Like, if I had a pussy tell me a pussy joke, I would crack up.
I probably would crack up as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should tell more pussy jokes. Actually, I've probably been missing the mark this entire time.
Here's the thing with which always upsets me.
Yeah.
Is male comics or male people will be like, oh my God, all that female comic does is tell jokes about her pussy. And I sit there and I go, look at any comic ever, whether it's Richard Pryor,
right,
or George Carlin, or anyone, just greats. And you know what they'll talk about? Dating. Dating jokes are the number one thing to go to. Yet no one ever gets burnt out by it. Ever. So the fact that, we're in this day and age for the past 15 years where, women can tell, and like, oh, that's all they have. And it's like, no, it's not. It's everyone is clever enough that it's funny. It's just like any other topic to where if it's funny enough and clever enough, then who cares what it's about?
Who cares why you laughed?
Yeah.
Sometimes I see someone trip and I laugh. Is it nice? No. Did they mean to trip? No. But does it make it any less funny? No.
No.
I mean, that's was funny because AP and I were talking a few months ago about the Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B when they released, what song was that?
You're asking the wrong.
What was it called? Yeah, get your fucking
I
son on
listened
the
to
phone.
Green Day.
Your fucking son on the phone. Time for this shit with you.
I'm like, wait a minute. What Third Eye Blind song can I
can't remember. Oh, fucking pussy song. I know people are screaming at their fucking phones right now, but you all know what song I'm talking about.
You're yelling
But what I found funny and interesting about it was that male rappers, rock stars, country artists, mimes, blind men, all comedians, all talk about our pussies. Right? Good pussy, bad pussy, dry pussy. Everybody wants the pussy. I'm going to shoot a bitch over the pussy. If I can't have the pussy, no one can have the pussy.
You went full Chris
I mean, I want all the pussy. I get all the pussies on my tour bus. And then I tell the pussies to get off my tour bus. Like, all the pussies, it's all you hear. But the moment a woman takes that and goes, no, we know that our pussy is this shit, and we use you motherfuckers. We take your fucking money. You paid for my fucking college. I was on fucking T-Mobile. Now I'm on Verizon, bitch. Like, the minute that we do that, it's a fucking problem. They're like, well, we don't want our young ladies, though, to ever think that they... No, I tell Keek the same thing every time. It is your body. You do whatever you want. If you want to fucking talk about your pussy, if you want to write a pussy poem, let it be the best pussy poem you ever wrote. If you want us, you tell me for the rest of your life you just want to be traveling pants with a pussy mobile, then you travel the country telling everybody about pussies. Then do that if it's something that you're passionate about. But don't let some fucking body tell you what you can't do about, no, you're fine, about your own vagina. That's insane. Just like I would never tell a comedian, well, don't tell any more dick jokes. Why is it guy? We're not going to teach our young men to talk about their members. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, it's terrible. It
is insane.
I won't lie. When I'm on stage and I talk about my pussy, nobody laughs.
Nobody laughs.
And that makes me...
You don't get a chuckle at all.
That's hypocritical.
It really is.
That is. There's a double standard.
It is.
Yes, I may not have one.
Yeah.
But... when I talk about it,
right.
it just flatline.
Every
cares.
Fucking time.
You know, I think audiences are all about relatability, and just no one is used to my hypothetical pussy.
no one's used to your
hypothetical pussy. Yeah. By the way, like I do hypothetical Kegels. Okay.
Which I feel would be super hard because Kegels are already like an internal, like you really got to concentrate, and now you're double concentrating.
I don't know anything about Kegel. Like, men don't get to do workout for their balls.
Okay, so you know when you like, so you know when you've done crunches, right?
Yes.
And your abs feel super tight.
Yes.
And then you know when someone goes to touch your stomach, and you tighten it up.
I know exactly.
Okay, but your vagina.
Wow.
It feels great.
Why can't we have that for like balls or something?
Because you guys are the fucking worst. That's why. God was like, I don't know, you have everything else. I'll give these bitches Kegels, fucking titties that they fucking kind of appreciate sometimes. And I don't know, some high cheekbones. Yeah. I mean, we kind of got the raw end of the deal. So if Kegels is us #winning.
Well, the fact that you get to work out that, could you imagine if a guy could work out his dick and make it better? Like,
then all the women would stop complaining? Yeah, then I can't imagine.
Memberships would be
skyrocketing.
The fucking
just little fucking weights. Just
oh yeah.
Can I get that weight when you're done? Yeah, absolutely.
There'd be like creatine and steroids for it.
Yeah, but women don't do Kegels because we want to. First of all, I don't need to because, like I said, my vagina's off the showroom floor. But women only do Kegels because they want to keep their vaginas fucking tight as shit. And they want to keep a man, when really men don't care.
No, not even a little bit.
At all.
Are you kidding me? That's like saying, like the size of a doorway to enter a building. We're like, we don't. Who cares?
You're like, is this up to fucking regulation?
As long as I get to play with the knob and walk in, what does it matter?
I don't give a shit.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah. I have been into Macy's no less than 10,000 times, and you know how they have the wooden, like. Why do they look like grabbers when they're pushers? It makes me so mad. And I have been to Macy's 1,000 times. And every time I run into the door, every time, like I've never used a door before and still doesn't bother me. You know why? Because I'm still getting in there. I know I'm going to get in there. I know I'm going to get in there.
Trump has the same problem because he likes to grab everything as
well.
He
likes to grab those pussies.
It's a pusher. Yeah.
He has never grabbed. So, you know when we were in high school and like a guy would be like, yeah, I'm fucking smashing all the pussies. I'm getting every pussy there is. Did you guys know there's an elusive green pussy? Yeah. Well, you got to have a really big dick to see it.
It's organic.
It's organic. It's only when a girl's like super vegan and they come from like Australia. Did you know that pussies in fucking Spain look different than like the pussies in fucking U.S.?
They're
He's that guy. No and HMO. He's got like 19 lackeys around like, oh my God, this guy's so fucking cool. He's so cool. When really, he has never seen a pussy in his life except for his mom's.
No, not at all.
He has never grabbed a pussy, especially not Melania's. Look at her.
Oh, no.
I have a pussy. I'm telling you, no one has ever in 37 years grabbed my pussy. And I'm telling you that I have put myself in positions to have my pussy grabbed. And it has never once been fucking grabbed. Not one time.
You know, to be fair, it's not like there's a handle for it. So when he said that, to grab a pussy, I'm like, what do you mean? There's not a nozzle.
There's not.
First off. Like,
it doesn't have a good hook.
If anything, it's a small button, which, by the way, you can't do that. Like, so that always bothered.
And if you have thick thighs, yeah, right, bitch. I want to see you get your hands in between these thighs. Oh, okay. Okay.
I've got to tell you this. I've never thought about it. So let's see. I'm 37, so I haven't thought about this in like probably 30 years. Actually.
Okay.
I was in 4th grade, and there was a kid named Sean. And Sean took us all out in the middle of the playground, and he went, I just ate pussy. And we're like, what? Like, this is speaking of believability. Like, you know, those, he goes, I just ate one. And we were like, no way. And he's like, yeah, man. She was like 35. And we're like, what? Oh, yeah.
But like looking back now, you're like, so you got molested.
This is about lying, you know, the Trump grabbing. Right. And he goes, I'm here to tell you guys, it tastes like mayonnaise. And I remember my first thought was, I fucking hate mayonnaise. I'm like, man, I'm really dodging.
You're like, fuck. Great, now I can never eat pussy because it tastes like mayonnaise, and it's the one thing I can't stand ever, and I'm allergic to mayonnaise.
Dude. I'm sitting there going, is there a Miracle Whip pussy? Like, I'm
right, like, is there a knockoff version? I like the Winco brand.
Worst explanation, like, and I will have dreams about it. I'll be like, oh my God, who says that? Like, he just made up a flavor. His mind was racked.
He loves mayo.
And he was probably like, all right, what should I say? Mayonnaise?
No, his family was white trash as shit. He ate Wonder Bread, mayonnaise, and bologna and American cheese. And he was just like, what does this pussy taste like? What does my fictional pussy that I ate taste like?
Yeah, to have this little fucking Aiden lying to me and like...
What does this pussy taste like? I know. I told Keek when she was young, right when she was like right around like getting old enough that I knew she was going to be thinking about sex. And I said, I'm going to tell you what my mom didn't tell me. I mean, she gave me kind of the birds and bees, sort of. She would just like, my mom was really strange about it. She would bring it up at the strangest times. So she'd be like in the laundry room and I'd be like skirting out to go meet friends. And she'd be like, hey, just don't let a guy finger you, okay? Anyways, have fun.
Call before 11. I'll see you then.
I'd come in the kitchen. She'd be making dinner. And I'd be like, what are you making? And she'd be like, oh, I'm making just some chili. Hey, make sure a guy doesn't nut inside of you because that's how babies are born. Anyways, go get your sisters.
More turmeric.
Yeah, I was like, do what? Don't let him do what? Can we talk about that later? I don't want to pin that. I want to talk about it now. Yeah, she was pretty wild. But when Keek got older, I was like, I want to definitely be honest with her, and I also don't want her to learn the hard way like my girlfriends and I had to learn.
Yeah.
So like right off rip, I was just like, do not ever let a dude put his penis in your mouth before you make him go down on you first.
That's good. I'm okay with that.
Because if you're going to get a reputation, you might as well have fun.
You have an even reputation.
Get something out of it.
Yeah.
Don't be a fool. Well, get something out of it.
If you do a job, you expect compensation.
That's what I'm saying.
A blowjob is still a job. It's by definition.
Because if I can't stop you from having sex, but when I tell you it is going to be very disappointing.
Oh, yeah. Like, if I'm about to get a blowjob, I will Venmo the girl cunnilingus in return.
That's it.
It's just how I fucking do it.
And then put an asterisk next to it and go, rate me later.
Jeez. I'm the comedian and I just got...
I'm just saying, baby. Let me know how it was.
My son... Fuck. Okay, the birds and the bees talk. Like, dude, so he's 9 years old. I'm working out of New York City. So I got him a cell phone because I'm like, I need to stay in contact with him. And I come back and at one point... I have his phone and I'm sitting there trying to figure out something that he had to set up. It was like a tethering or something. And
you had his phone in your hand?
Yeah.
And you were going through multiple screens?
At 9 years old.
This is at 9.
There was something wrong. Yeah,
shit.
Something wrong with his phone. So I had to call AT&T to like reset it and do stuff. And I'm sitting there on hold and I'm like, just out of curiosity, I looked at his web browser.
Why? Why would you do this to yourself?
I have screenshots of it. I've literally forwarded them to myself. It was, in the start, it was exactly what you thought it was. It was Google searches, okay? And it was a big, long thing over the course of, I don't know, I'd say an hour and a half.
Right.
And it goes, what is sex?
Okay.
What is sex with another person?
Okay.
Adult, female, nude, body parts.
Okay, so he's starting to get very specific.
Yeah, he's not,
right.
He doesn't know what he wants. And then it goes off the rails. And it goes... Adult, female, naked, Asian. Asian moms, naked. Moms that are Asian that are also naked. And so then it gets to...
so specific.
Weird. Oh, my God, yeah. Soccer moms that are MILFs, that are... What is a MILF that is Asian, that is a mom, that is... the weirdest searches I've ever seen in my life, right? And this is... I took the screenshot. There was like 5 pages of it, okay? So you have probably 200 search terms. And right in the middle of it, I don't know if he got distracted. I don't know what. But it goes, what does a 68 Volkswagen Beetle look like? Right in the middle of mom's hot Asian mom.
Right.
And I sat there and, he's old enough now that I'm like, what was that? And he goes, I don't remember.
No, he doesn't remember because they have fucking dick ADD. fucking it was probably a chick fucking with her legs spread on the top of a Volkswagen, and he was like, I like that Volkswagen. Well, dude,
where did the moms come? What year
is that Volkswagen?
What year is that?
I've seen that Volkswagen around the fucking neighborhood.
I wonder if it's fuel efficient.
I wonder what kind of gas they take. I wonder, is that how I get the hose? Do I have to have a Volkswagen? Which I don't really... Yeah, I don't think Volkswagen brings all the girls to the yard. Although when I was younger, I remember a couple guys driving Volkswagens, and I was just like, you have money. I can just tell.
Where did you grow up?
The inside of your car is red. And this is leather, you say? You come from money. The Passat? Ooh, it sounds fancy. Yeah, I was easily fucking impressed back then. But it was funny mostly because we're talking about high school, because I talked to you earlier this week because I said I wanted you and I to talk about the Olivia Jade.
Yes!
Fucking interview from the Red Table Talk, which I thought was hilarious. Now, obviously, you and I are on Twitter. We're on Twitter quite a bit. And whenever I find news, it's so funny because someone will go, well, where'd you find that out at? And I'm like, Twitter? I don't understand. Are you fucking people?
These people have.
Where are you guys at right now? I personally have not used Facebook since, I don't know, 93.
Yeah.
But I still obviously keep it because on Instagram Business, you are not allowed to have a business page without having Facebook. Like, they fuck you the long way. You can't do promotions. You can't do anything.
No, it's fucking awful.
Well, that's another story for another day. So anyways, I always forget about the Red Table Talk, right? And I like the Smith family, I guess. I don't know them. I think it's always weird to say you like a celebrity family or couple or whatever. I don't fucking know you. They're like an acquaintance, right? They work in your building, but you don't fucking know them.
No, you have no idea. You're just like, oh,
right? You've never seen them kill anybody, but you've also never seen them, I don't know, build a home for a homeless person. So they seem all right. And I'm always leery of doing that and saying like a celebrity's this or that because they're all such trash and let us down that like I don't want to find out 10 years from now that like Will Smith was running like a porno ring with like 9-year-old pigs. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. I don't need on my fucking conscience. So anyways, so I go on the Red Table Talk, which is such a strange fucking like.
I had never seen it before.
You had never heard of it before?
In fact, okay, when you were talking...
It's interesting, right?
With the Olivia Jade thing, I had to Google who that was because I was so used to the headlines of Lori Loughlin and Massimo.
Right.
That was So I'm like, who's Olivia Jade? Like, I thought she was the chick that was married to Jason Sudeikis. I was like...
I really didn't know who she was, mostly because although I am a YouTube person, I am not a YouTube, like, unveiling and an unwrapping and how to do my makeup. Like, at this age, if I don't know how to get my life together and not look like trash... That's it. I mean, no one can teach me how to put on my eyebrows. They're here. They're grown in. I don't even wax half the time. I don't fucking care. My face screams 90% of the time. I don't give a fuck. Okay? So I would never know. Plus, Olivia Jade is so young, and she's just out of my scope, right? And Keek had never said anything about her, so there's no relation there. But I knew when I'd heard about the Lori Loughlin thing, I was just so annoyed in general. And I think I was annoyed, like all of us were annoyed in the sense that I don't give a fuck. I hope that you spend time in prison. And not because I'm being vindictive, but because you have to look at all of it, right? And you have to go, you're privileged, you are white, you are literally, it's so above you that you're like, I don't even understand what that big deal is. Like, I don't get what's wrong. Okay, it's like when Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah, with the Enron shit.
Because you know Martha has to be hot. She's like, you motherfuckers, you know how much fucking time I did?
Pissed.
She did some time, like a gangsta. And she kept her fucking mouth shut.
Lori won't even have that time.
No, she kept her mouth shut.
Won't have a cooking show with Snoop Dogg in 4 years.
She won't be smoking weed. Fucking get the fuck out of here. She's not fucking cool enough. Fucking Martha did her time and she kept her fucking mouth shut like a true homie.
Dude,
okay?
She
like
was
a real
better,
homie.
Seriously, she was better than Tekashi if you think about it.
No, she was. She was gangsta. She was like gang
insane.
Yeah, she was like gang. I'll do my time. Just like old school, right? But when I heard about the interview, actually the reason I watched it was not because of that. I had heard that Jada Pinkett Smith's mother, which they call her Gammy, I believe, she was fresh annoyed.
Oh, man.
Now, I am not a huge Jada Pinkett. I'm not a fan or not a fan. I'm indifferent. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I think that cocoa skin. But like I said, I've said it a million times. We got slavery, but we also got banging skin. Like, God's trying to even it out. He's like, you can be 70 but look like you're 22. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So Jada just looks amazing. Yeah. And I'm also on that like juju shit with kids. Like, I didn't like the way that I was raised aggressively and shit. And so I do believe that there's different ways that you can communicate with your kids. And I know that some people don't think that we're supposed to be as open as some of us are, but I wish I would have had that. Yeah. And I like the openness that Keek and I have and my husband and I have with her. I just wish I would have had that. So I kind of get what they are doing with their kids, right? Yeah. And also, they're fucking millionaires, right? Okay.
That's the other thing. Yeah, they don't have that. There's a safety net to like fall back. It's like, we're going to tell you about everything. You can be gender fluid. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Because if you don't want to be, just don't turn the TV on. Who cares? You've got so much money. Go to Aruba. Hang out there for a while till it fucking blows over, right? You and I don't have blowover money.
No.
If we do some
I don't
shit,
have blow under money. I don't have anything. Are you kidding me?
I don't have anything at all. Like, to the point where Bank of America reminds me, they're like, bitch, you better go to work.
My credit score is in letters. Like, that's how fucking low it
just says, call this number. We've never seen it lower. Call this number. We don't know what to tell you.
But then I watched it. Okay, so I watched it with my son, and at first off, I see Jada, and she comes out, and she looks like Bridget Nielsen
like Storm?
in like Rocky IV. Yeah, it was like the dyed blonde hair. Like, she looked like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. It was.
Yeah, she did. I was like, where is your duster? Where's your leather duster?
It was hard fucking core, and I was like, obviously I was drawn to it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I'm going to watch this round table and this intense conversation. Yes, I'm going to have an erection, but I'm going to pay attention.
Duh.
She's beautiful.
How else do you pay attention?
Now that I think about it, I always pay attention with an erection.
That's it.
Anyways, I'm going to try and not pay so much attention during this interview anymore. So I'm watching it, and the minute her mom was like, I don't like you. I don't care what you say. I'm sitting there going, wow, this poor girl probably, well, not poor, but this girl probably had producers saying, it's just going to be a talk. They're just going to ask you about everything. They're going to bring up point and we're going to let you tell your story. And then she gets on and she goes, oh, fuck.
I thought she was going to cry. Can I be honest? I would have cried.
Dude.
When her mom, well, here's the thing though. So she was backstage listening to her mom talk. She was backstage listening to Jada Pinkett Smith's mother speaking to Jada and her daughter before she came out.
Yeah.
And when she said, I find it very interesting that a young white girl would choose 3 black women.
Yeah.
I actually paused it and took out my AirPods and just stopped listening because I felt like, oh shit.
They did that on purpose.
Like she was annoyed, and you could see Jada was kind of, when you're like when you're a kid, and you're like, Mom. Mom.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, what did I fucking say? Her mom was like, no. And she kept giving Jada, like, no, don't do that shit to me. You're not about to, I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't give a fuck. I don't like this girl. I don't like what her fucking parents did. I don't like what they fucking stand for. And I'm not about to sit up here and pretend like this shit's okay. And if it were up to me, she said it 4 times, if it were up to me, she would not be here. She would not be on the show. I would not be giving her an opportunity. And Jada's like, well, but we have to break the standard and we have to be better. And her mom's like, I don't give a fuck.
And to be fair, I mean,
she's right.
That's, my guess was the balance was almost a producer type call where they're like, yo, we can't have her on the only interview she's ever done and play softball.
Right.
So, but at the same time, yeah. And my thing, okay, I don't know the story of her. I mean, I think it was 99% impossible that she would not know that her parents are doing this.
She said, okay, so basically what I got from it was, it's not that she didn't know that they were giving this money, right?
Yeah.
But the way that her, and what I also found interesting was that she never took accountability on her own. She kept saying, me and my family did this. Me and my family did this. But the way that she explained it was, from what I understand, is that she believed that the money that they were giving out was donations to the school, which is what everyone else did. In order to, which, by the way, still doesn't make it any better.
No, not at all.
It doesn't matter. Bitch, you knew you were a dummy. You knew you were a dummy. You knew you could barely count to 25 without using your fingers and your toes, dummy. You didn't know what a proposition was.
By the way, if she could count to 25 with her fingers and toes, like, that's hot.
Oh, super hot. She was like, let me take my shoes off.
Especially if they're webbed.
Let me get these Birkenstocks off so I can count to 10. I found it very interesting, more the interview leading up to the interview than I did the actual interview. Because I don't give a shit. Like, at the end of the day, what that girl and her family stand for is everything that's wrong with this fucking country, is everybody not wanting to work hard, right? No. Now, I still do believe that people should get breaks. Oh, yeah, and I don't think that should be based off of color. I don't think that should be based off of gender. I don't believe that should be based off of age. And you know what a perfect example of that is? What is that fucking English lady's name from America's Got Talent? Simon Boyle.
Cowell. Susan
Boyle.
Susan Boyle. Yes, the opera singer lady.
Right? She had that shit on sleep the whole time. Now, when you heard her story, she had talked about how she had tried when she was younger. She did the right thing. She did the hustle, right? Can you imagine being like your fittest self, banging body, cute, banging fucking voice,
and then your opera.
Not making it. No. And then you are fat, overweight, knitting fucking sweaters. I'll try out for America's Got Talent for my grandkids. And you hit that shit big?
Yeah. Oh, no. It's the ultimate tea of it.
Right? Like, that's actually what's really cool about the world and about the American experience and about human beings, is that you never know what didn't fit 20 years ago can fit now. And you could have this really cool break and be discovered and have this really cool, like, story, right? But, like, Olivia Jade getting on YouTube and being like, hey, guys, it's Olivia.
And I'm sponsored by Estee Lauder, and I'm sponsored by this. And here was my thing with it. All right, more than her, it was the fact that the parents got caught, and it was huge news when it came out. And everyone, gosh, keep shaking your table.
Oh,
sorry,
I get
very. Fine. Once it's Uncle Becky, I get super.
Woo! When we start talking about Uncle Becky,
come on! Holy shit! Yeah, don't even get me started on Uncle Joey. Like, so with this, everything is huge, and it's Lori Loughlin did that. She's going down. That no one, the judge is like, I'm going to correct it. And then what happened? 8 months of trial. 8 months of drawn out. No matter how much U.S. Weekly or tabloid magazines posted, no matter what interviews they did with it, everything got drawn out. And then by the time the sentencing happened, they went 8 weeks. And she's like, oh, okay. Like that was it.
That was it.
2 months.
And still, people on the first 48 do not understand to stop talking. This is a great example. Get a lawyer. Shut the fuck up. Get a lawyer. Because that's exactly what she did. She got a fucking great lawyer. She never opened her fucking mouth. Nope. And while she was in jail, she sent this dum-dum out to fucking do her hard work. She did her hard work for her. And now when she gets out, she'll have a comeback story, and she'll come out with a new brand, and she'll be the face of the forgive me.
Oh, man. It's going to be... It's the turnaround story. Like... And what sucked most about it was when it first happened, people, like, I remember the news articles. They were like, oh, my God, 3 to 5 years minimum. She's like, I remember like Mark Garagos, lawyers type coming out, and he's like, 3 to 5 years. Like, no, they are finally going to use her as an example and stop this. And
except for poor people.
8 weeks.
Us regular people, us middle class. We knew she was only going to get 3 months. We were like, we've all been to court before. She's not getting more than 60 days.
Dude, if she would have gotten caught with an ounce of weed at that time, a different state.
That is what my husband and I were just. I said, if she would have got caught with weed, if she would have got a DUI, she would have been in more trouble with a DUI than she is right now.
Oh yeah, she should have gotten more time for season 9 of Full House. Like that's my personal opinion. Fuller House, don't even get me started.
It was really insane to me that she would even want her daughter to, because to me, again, that's like making her go out there and do the hard work. for you. And you sending her out there to fucking clean it up and go, well, I'm doing time, so you get out there and you explain this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll fucking meet you at the dinner table in 60 days. It's like, go fuck yourself. You are an adult, regardless of your piece of shit kid. Because at the end of the day, your kid's only going to be a product of whatever you've raised them to be. And I don't care if someone says, well, she had a super popular YouTube show. No. She had a super popular show because of her parents, right? It is no difference than the other day I was seeing that Mark and Meghan Markle and fucking Ginger Boy are about to have a fucking podcast. And I tweeted...
Hey, his name is Conan O'Brien.
His name is Conan O'Brien. They are going to have a wildly successful podcast, even if it's boring. Only because of who they are.
They're going to have a wildly successful... Boring podcast. Your even is thing, it's off the fucking table.
Oh, yeah.
What are they going to be able to talk about? They're going to have publicists. The minute they say something out of, they're going to cut it. No,
we're going to be hearing about kids in Uganda and how she's still feeling the slights of a black woman. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. You guys first moved and said you didn't want to fucking be in the limelight. Now you're like, brought to you by Spotify. I'm like, if you guys don't get the fuck all the way out of here. But one thing I will say that I'm finding very interesting is that during the pandemic, I feel like people are not here for the shit anymore. They really don't give a shit about celebrities any longer. They're just like, we don't fucking care. We don't have any money. We're tired of you guys going on Instagram and showing us your fucking Lamborghinis. We're fucking struggling to pay rent.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, you motherfuckers are out here talking about, I just had sushi for the 9th day in a row. What am I going to eat tomorrow? It's like, no one gives a shit.
I noticed that a lot of celebrities tried to downplay everything, and they'd be like, oh, my God, hey, I'm bored, too. All right? Like, I'm so bored that I decided to play Monopoly with my butler that I've never talked to in 4 years. I played...
Name's Matt. Had no idea.
I play Words with Friends now with my housekeeper, Juanita. She's really good.
She's teaching me Spanish.
Great. Está bien. So that was my
wild.
Thing, was when people were like, oh my God, I'm just like... it. I don't know. It's very... I get trying to relate.
Yeah.
But... there were a lot of like the uplifting messages too. Matthew McConaughey in the beginning was like, "Hey, everybody, like, just we're gonna make it through this, and it's gonna be great." I don't do a good Matthew McConaughey.
That was a very good Matthew McConaughey. That was really good.
Like, just keep living. Like, I know not everyone can afford a Lincoln right now. And they're all sending out these messages of hope, and which, by the way, I didn't get to see. Like, I mean, I was in rehab when all this hit, so I was like, oh, I don't even.
Yeah, you were actually in the safest place possible. You were basically like in an old folks' home, but like even less fun.
I had no clue. I remember getting out in May.
Yeah.
And the first thing I wrote was, okay, so when did coughs and sneezes become political to everybody? Like,
it's wild.
Because that's what, fucking happened. And I was like, holy shit. And speaking of coughs and sneezes and COVID fucking protection, Tom Cruise. Did you see this?
Did you hear the video?
I saw the video. Well, I mean, I saw the video that had the audio.
Yeah, I saw the video that had the audio, which always cracks me up because he's so short and we all forget.
Oh, yeah.
Because I always forget, right? Because those camera angles be hitting.
5'6".
They be hitting.
Yeah.
When I envisioned him raging, like I envisioned, like, like your kid gets really mad, like when they're little and they're just like their fists are flailing in the air. And he's intense. If you've never seen him, have you ever seen the Russell Crowe when he was like in that guy's face? Not Russell Crowe. What's the other one who played Batman? Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
When he was like screaming at that guy.
Audio of
Yeah. So it was very good, like giving me that energy. And I get what he is saying, but I only think it is self-serving.
Okay.
Which I still get, obviously. And he's right.
When I heard it...
if you guys don't know, Google it right now. Tom Cruise, he was on the set of Mission Impossible 798.
Fuck you, they're great movies.
Great movie. And at some point, someone on the studio, several times, I'm assuming throughout the day, had not been using the proper COVID practices. So what I'm assuming was happening.
Thing. It wasn't the mask.
Oh, it wasn't mask. It was social distancing.
There were two people around a computer that weren't practicing 6 feet.
But which is so impossible all of the time.
Well, okay. So I heard the rant, and then I went, okay, he went a little bit overboard. But then I found out that when they started that movie, there was a COVID outbreak on the set.
Oh, gotcha.
So the movie got shut down. They had to go through so many hoops to get it back started. Like they had to contact lawyers, everyone. Like they really used every outlet they could to try and get it back in, and they got it back in.
And now they don't want to go
they're
through it again.
on the tiniest of threads, and then this happens, and the best part about it was Tom Cruise wasn't saying, he wasn't yelling at them just for them, is he goes, there are thousands of people working on this production. And if it gets shut down because of something like that, they don't have their mortgages. They don't have this. And I'm sitting there going, okay, now I get it.
Oh, I got it from the beginning.
But he was still like screaming. And at the same time,
well, he's a fucking sociopath.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get to.
He's a sociopath.
There's a
something's wrong up there.
It's hard to separate the artist from the actions, you know?
Right.
Like I'll watch Mission Impossible movies and see all the fucking stunts that he does on his own. I'm like, that's so impressive.
Right. I'm like, that is cool.
Oh yeah. And then I'm like, but he brainwashes people into a fucking cult.
Or I'm sorry, where is that same energy? Like again, heard the energy, read the energy, liked the energy.
Oh yeah.
But where was that energy finding Homegirl? Because we have not seen his wife since 2005.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm dead ass. Like, you have people who have been mayors, senator, congressmen in the state of California. And not one of them, if I called 911 right now and I said, look, Steve, not seen Steve. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
He's probably in rehab again.
Okay, he might be in LA. I don't know. But could you do me a fave? Could you swing by and do a fucking courtesy check? They don't know you. But they would still go by, maybe not immediately, but eventually they would get over there and try to make contact with you and follow up and go, you know, we really can't get a hold of him. Do you have any other friends? Maybe someone's seen him.
Yeah.
Nobody, like the cops keep going to the gate and they're like, she's in the shower.
Is Katie Holmes?
It's
okay.
Miss Javis's wife. What's her name?
Crap, that ruins my joke.
Shit,
I was about to say, if Katie Holmes is missing, has anyone checked Dawson's
God.
Creek?
No, she is in hiding. She was with Jamie Foxx. Like, she went black.
What happened to that?
Miscavige's wife. What is her fucking... She's missing since 2005.
Oh, she was a part of someone with the Scientology.
Shelley Miscavige.
Yeah.
So it is reported...
I saw that picture.
That was the last picture taken in 1986.
You can tell with the hair.
Oh, yeah, obviously. And the Sears background. It was reported that he was getting upset with her because she was thinking about leaving him. So he sent her to one of their homes up in the hills. That's this big, like, estate. And she is not allowed to leave that estate.
Oh, man.
That she is, no joke, under lock and key. This is from Leah Remini. Leah Remy? Leah Remini. Leah Raman. That she is on that estate and she is not allowed to leave. No one's able to talk to her, see her, communicate with her. She is not allowed to come out of that gate. Nothing.
She's like a sexy Bin Laden. Like, that's what you're saying.
Very much so.
Sorry. I didn't mean that. Sexier Bin
Laden. Sexier, because that fucking beard was lit. That beard was something, honey.
Your listeners are like, dude, fuck this guy.
that beard was something, honey.
Like, I just don't know. And that's the hard thing with deciphering, like, the art. Like, you know, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Right.
But I'm also a huge not Michael Jackson fan.
Right. Like kids not being molested.
So the Tom Cruise thing, it's this hard thing to be like, what the fuck do I do? Like,
right.
And I always kind of struggle with that. And the Tom Cruise thing, like I'll sit there and like I was watching Reddit when this broke about the argument.
Yeah.
And people were going nuts. They're like, fuck yeah, he's right. He's fine. You know, he's crazy, but he's really serious about COVID. It shut down the production. He's doing the right thing, blah, 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 blah. And it was going on and on. And then people were like, someone's wife is missing and he's connected to the group.
It's wild.
That it's fucking missing. And
that's wild.
Like... I still have a hard time because
not enough money
oh my God,
in the world.
A woman's missing. Mm-hmm. Hey, remember when he hung out of an airplane and
like,
scaled the Dubai Tower and ran a lot in that one movie?
Yeah,
the man loves running.
He loves running. Well, he's got those little legs; they get to moving. And he's starting to get the old neck. So as soon as I have a feeling that as soon as Tom Cruise's true looks start to fade and he gets older, I have a feeling he's gonna snitch. He's gonna be a snitcher. I can tell. He looks like he's got
a turn.
Oh yeah, I think he will. It's only a matter of time, but it's still insane to me that our government is allowing a woman, like this is a real thing. Like, I'm not even fucking around.
No,
like,
I know.
There's nothing. No one's seeing the back of her head. No, and then LAPD's like, well, we go to the gate, and like, she comes to the intercom, and I'm like, how do you know it's her?
This is the same LAPD that if you jaywalk in the middle of sunset, you'll get a $500 ticket.
1,000%. That they're like, excuse me, are you walking around being black? Absolutely not. Get over here.
I mean,
those same motherfuckers, they are not. But again, my point is just that, yes, I do understand what he's saying. And in that context, I agree with him. I think if a lot of our government had gotten that tone in the beginning and talked to, because there's nothing. Screaming. I tweeted that the other day. There's nothing more embarrassing as an adult than to get screamed at by another adult. And you're not allowed to scream back because you know they're in charge of your paycheck. Oh, that's the worst.
Dude, and he's, like, it's not only that he's the one in charge, like, he's fucking Tom. There's this huge thing. And you're right about the fact that the two guys that were probably listening to it, like, are looking down.
Yeah.
You know, and just going, well, okay. And I don't know. I think I would have had a stronger feeling on Tom Cruise's side if it was like a mask thing. Something about the fact that they were maybe 3 feet apart. I get, but I don't get. I'm like,
just fire them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe in public humiliation, but I also
he didn't know that, though.
What?
That it was going to be public.
No, but still, I don't. But still, like, in front of everybody else. Like, I'm just not down for that. But I also do believe in setting a very strong message. And I think that if you had already sent out a memo and another memo, and then people were telling, and they're still doing it, and it doesn't matter how ridiculous we think it is, if they said you're not allowed to stand 8 feet next to one another, right? If that's their rule, and you still doing it, then just start firing bitches. Because you know what? My mom screaming in my face did nothing but annoy me. But my mom being like, I don't even want to look at your face. That's how upset I am. Made me feel way worse.
If he would have walked up to him and been like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like that, they would have been like, oh, fuck. Like, and then they would have called their moms and their dads. Like, they would have rekindled.
They would have called their wives and been like, can you come get me from the
it probably would have bonded their family. And the fact that he didn't do that just kind of upsets me.
He's an insane sociopath, though. So I expect nothing different from that fucking loony tick. The fucking Looney Tune. Some lady tweeted me and she was like, so you just stand for... I was like, ma'am, do you know how to read? I never once fucking said this dude had it figured out. What I said was that energy that he had, I wish that our government would have had when we first started this fucking bullshit.
Could you imagine, like, Trump having that same energy not directed towards CNN? Like,
right.
Like, if he would have had that, like, it would have been... to be fair, though, actually, and this is... To watch Obama even get that kind of energy. Like, dude, if we would have seen angry black man Obama...
No, do you remember Sandy Hook?
Oh, I do.
Remember?
Okay.
So we had Sandy Hook, and then... Right? And then he went and visited the family and did all the shit. Okay. Then 2 months later, we had another shooting.
Yeah.
And I remember him coming to that podium. And he was like, so this is just what we're fucking doing now?
Oh, I remember
So this is what we're doing. So y'all just don't care. So you just don't care is what you're telling me. And I remember just like, even though I hadn't done anything wrong, I was like, well,
like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Obama. I'm so
sorry, Mr. Obama. Can you get Michelle? I will write an apology. I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to make you mad. Like, I was like, fuck. And that was the first time that he just looked so disappointed, so annoyed. I remember going...
to make that guy drop character, it's almost like watching, like, like some kind of Saturday Night Live amazing person, like either like Will Ferrell or Tina Fey or something, break character.
Yeah.
Because they never fucking do it. So to watch him be like, all right, I'm going to step outside of this polite shit.
Just a fresh...
But it wasn't in a bad way.
No, it wasn't. He was just like, when are we going to learn?
Justified way.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed, Trump will be like, oh my God, you guys are fucking stupid and you're writing bad about me. And then he'll tweet about it. And you're just like, what are you doing, man? Like,
just stop. Like we don't need any more division. We need to come together.
For someone who apparently doesn't drink, he sends the most drunk tweets I think I've ever seen in my life.
Because I do believe, although alcoholism is a horrible disease, I do believe some people should not be sober.
I think he has an Adderall problem, is what people are saying. But
we can't blame Adderall.
I cannot.
Because he talks way too slow and he walks way too slow. There's no way he's on Adderall. I've seen Adderall.
Very true.
I have dealt with Adderall. I've worked with Adderall. There's no way that dude... Now, his hair maybe sprinkles a little bit on the top of his edges. I don't know. But for sure, that dude is not on fucking Adderall. No, he's just Satan. Some people are just... It is hard, just like it's hard to understand Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It is hard to understand why somebody would go and murder their own child to make an example to their wife and then kill themselves.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to understand why somebody would break into a home and steal a TV and kill everyone for one plasma screen TV.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand why you would kidnap children and traffic them across the country. It's hard to understand. And so we will grasp onto anything to make it make sense. He must have been on drugs. His mother must have beat him. He clearly had dicks in his mouth at 7. Like something happened.
His father gave him too much money.
Right. Or he's just an awful person. Sometimes you get a dud.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Sometimes you get a dud. I don't know. I've met some duds. You've met some duds. You've met some people that you've known since you were a fucking kid. You know their parents, Barbara and Sam, great people.
Barbara and Sam, great people.
His sister, Margaret, an angel. He had never had too much money, but didn't have too little, and just had the right amount of everything, but was a piece of fucking shit.
People get mad. Okay, here's the one thing that always bothered me where they went, friends of mine that love Trump, they'll be like, he was attacked the minute he got elected. And I was like, yeah, because he was a reality TV star who got his way into the election.
Right.
I'm like, it's not like he was some senator or some congressman.
A professional politician.
No. And all of a sudden he gets it. So for them to mock it, yeah, if he would have improved and showed stuff, then it would have turned around. But he deserved that from the beginning. Like, if you elect Spencer from the Hills to be your fucking president.
Spidey? Oh my God.
That's a callback, man.
That's a callback.
And I don't know which one is whiter, by the way. That's the most important.
Remember when he got into the crystals?
Oh God.
That's another topic for another day. He got that fucking weird fucking white beard, and he looked like a weird fucking Santa Claus with this fucking, and he kept being like super cool, Spencer, like he was gonna murder everyone.
Oh yeah. No. So for me, that was the thing where I'm sitting there going, yo, I'll give him a chance. But he deserves this criticism from the very start because even he didn't expect it.
Right.
So for everyone to say, oh my God, you've been against him from the beginning, fuck yes, we have. Because that's what he earned.
Right.
And if he would have changed things, believe me, I don't have that pride. I don't have that Democrat, Republican like type thing.
Right.
And I would have been like, oh my God, you know what? I remember being at parties a few times and I would tell some of my friends who were like, oh, you still hate Trump? And I'm like, still hate him, but I gotta lie. I mean, I can't lie. Economy's doing pretty good right now. I mean, this is free.
Yeah.
When there were points that I recognized that were factual.
Right, you didn't have a problem.
Statistic. I had no problem.
Right.
Being like, you know what? Fucking nailed it. So, yeah, man.
I know, it is difficult, but at the end of the day, when we think about a presidency, it is the one job that you must show us you can rise to the occasion, and you cannot step into the shoes and be given that kind of appreciation until it's earned.
Oh, well, absolutely.
You can't. You have to show and prove. It's like getting married, right? Anyone can get married. But to show up and be a husband, to show up and be a wife, to put the work in and prove to this person that I'm never going to go anywhere.
And one day I hope to be a good wife to somebody. Like
I hope you and your pussy are a good wife to someone someday.
I just felt I felt bad because Obama was this amazing speaker.
Yeah.
And then you have Trump come next. And it always felt to me like in high school, you'd have this really eloquent person talk and they'd be like, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to get money for the actual clubs that need it. And our computers are falling apart. And then some dude walks in and he goes, I'm going to put a vending machine in every class. Nearby football rules, buggy. And that's...
Trump is the white Flava Flav and no one believes me when I say it.
Shit.
I've said it from the very beginning. If he could have had a fucking giant Rolex around his neck and been swinging it around, that would have been the last 4 fucking years. So fuck all of you who think I'm wrong. I'm right. Oh my God, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You're always welcome.
This has been so much fun.
Anytime. You guys don't know, but starting January, our show will be moving. It will be moving to Tuesdays. And part of the reason why is obviously the podcast will still be released as it always has been on every platform. But, honey, you're going to be able to see us. We are going live, honey. You'll be able to see some chocolate. You're going to get a little vanilla. You're going to get it all. So starting January, AP and I will be hosting the show live in our studio, and I would love for you to come back so we can do. I mean, it'll just be so much fucking fun.
As long as your people don't attack me on Twitter, they'll be like, I don't like what he said about.
Just pretend like you're wealthy. I didn't know it would offend anybody.
I didn't know. My parents did this.
My mom and it was a group effort.
My mom and dad put me on this podcast. They paid Alex.
They paid her to get me on this fucking podcast.
And they're only going to serve 6 hours in prison.
That's it. Don't worry. I'll make sure we have green M&Ms. I'll get your favorite flavor of Gatorade. It'll be popping next time. All right, you guys, you know what it is. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at The Hate Journals and, of course, Twitter, Hate Journals. Log on to our website, thehatejournals.com. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, baby. How do you know when we release a new episode? Hit the subscribe button. Share with a friend. We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Have a great Christmas. We will not have an episode next week, but we love you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.